Welcome back to Canal University English Composition 101 class. Today we are going to talk about past time. In your textbook, chapter 2 begins on page 24. Before diving into today's topic, let's have a very quick review time. Okay, we dealt with English 12 tenses. We just have a very guesswork about English 12 tenses. I bet you remember this time arrow, and there are 3 dots. Present, past, and future. 3 simple tenses: simple past, simple present, simple future. Last week we studied simple present and present progressive or continuous. This tense emphasizes you are doing something right now at the moment. And another concept can be applied here: perfect. There are 3 perfect tenses up to a certain point in the past. This is perfect past. Perfect past. If your action or status goes up to a certain point in the present, it is called present perfect. Past perfect, present perfect. The last one should be expressed like this: a certain kind of action or status goes up to a certain point in the future. This is future perfect. We haven't yet dealt with the perfect tenses, so we just guess, there are some kinds of perfect tenses we are going to deal with maybe 2 weeks from now on. Okay, today we are going to focus on the past tense. 2 past tenses: simple past and past progressive. Another word, past continuous. Okay, so let's come back to our textbook, chapter 2, past time. Page number 24. Okay, there are contents table. It starts 2-1, ending with 2-11. So we can review of present verbs and preview past verb using exercise 1. Look at your textbook. In direction, discuss italicized verb. Do they express present time or past time? Do the verb describe an activity or situation that? So there are A, B, C, and D. A means is in progress right now, which means A, present, progressive. Is in progress right now. And B is usual or is a general statement of fact. Is usual or is a general statement of fact. You can use simple present. Simple present means something is usual, and some behaviors are general statement of facts. And C, began and ended in the past. This is simple. Past. The last one, D, was in progress at a time in the past. Was in progress at a time in the past. Progress. And the last one is past. Okay, so exercise 1. Question number 1, Jennifer works for an insurance company. Works is in italicized. So works falls into category of A, B, C, or D. What category? Jennifer works for an insurance company. It is a general statement of fact. So simple present. Okay, so correct answer for question 1 is B. It's easy. Okay. Question 2, when people need help with their automobile insurance, they call her. Oh, it's usual, right? When people need help with their automobile insurance, they call her. It is unusual behavior activity. So another B is the correct answer for the question 2. It goes like this. Question 3, right now it is 9:05 a.m. and Jennifer is sitting at her task. Jennifer is sitting, present progressive. Jennifer is sitting, which is in progress right now at this moment. So the answer for question 3, present progressive. A. Right. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on until we reach question 5. Okay. She came to work on time this morning. On time, punctual. She came to work on time this morning. She came. Came is in italicized. Came. It happened. Simple past, right? Began and ended in the past. Simple past. Question 5. Yesterday, Jennifer was late to work because she had a minor auto accident. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yesterday, Jennifer was late to work because she had a minor auto accident. It's another C. I believe we don't have to answer all the questions because it's rather easy, right? So let's move on to page 25. 2-1, expressing past time, the simple past. So we move on, simple past. Simple past. Page 25. Let's look at the parentheses A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Parenthesis A, Mary walked downtown yesterday. B, I slept for 8 hours last night. I can find some common denominator all through from A through H. There are adverb or adverbial phrase which indicate the verb must be in the past. Yesterday, last night, in parenthesis C, yesterday morning, last night, in D, in E, this morning. It happened this morning, yesterday. So when you find there are the adverb which indicates something must have happened in the past, we use past time. Okay, let's move on to page 26. 2-2 forms of the simple past regular verb. So we are going to talk about forms of simple past. Forms are really important in writing down something in correct form. If you have difficult times in finding out correct forms, it will make you very difficult to deliver what you intended in your mind. So we have to remember correct forms of all the verbs. Not all the verbs. Here, regular verbs, irregular verbs, and the last one will be be verb. So 2-2 forms of the simple past regular verbs. Statement 1, I, you, she, he, it, we, they all worked yesterday. When you express negative sentence, you just use did not, or in an abbreviated forms, didn't. I, you, she, he, it, we, they did not work yesterday. If you ask a question, you can say like this: did I, did you, did she, did he, did it work yesterday? Right. And short answer can be yes, I did. No, he didn't. 2-3 forms of the simple past be verb. Yes. You are, I am, he is, they are. This forms of be verb for simple present. And yes, 2-3 forms of the simple past. In the case of be verb, I, she, he, it. I was in class yesterday. She was in, he was in, it was in. And in the plural form, we were in class, you were, they were. Okay? And negative was not, wasn't in abbreviated forms, were not, weren't. And if you ask a question, you can place be verb or auxiliary verb at the forefront. Was I in class yesterday? It's a tricky question. Was she in class yesterday? It can be regular question, I think. Short answer, yes, I was. Yes, she was. No, it wasn't. So let's exercise using present and past time statement and negatives. Exercise 2. Direction. All the following sentences have inaccurate information. Correct them by A, making a negative statement, and B, making an affirmative statement with accurate information. Look at the example of question 1. Thomas Edison invented the telephone. Really? So, parenthesize A, Thomas Edison didn't invent the telephone. And accurate information with affirmative statement will be like this. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, right? So let's exercise. Question number 2. You live in a tree. Oh, people do not actually live in a tree. So you live in a tree? You can say like this. I don't live in a tree. I live in an apartment building. I live in a mansion. I live in a single house. Okay. Question number 3. You took a taxi to school today. It depends. You may actually took a taxi to school today. In my case, no, I didn't take a taxi to school today. I drove to school today. Okay. Question 4. You are sitting in a soft, comfortable sofa. I'm not sitting on a soft, comfortable sofa. I am standing giving a lecture. Question 5. Our teacher wrote Romeo and Juliet. No, let's suppose the teacher is male. He didn't write Romeo and Juliet. Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet. Okay. We don't have to go through to the end of question 10. Okay. Let's move on to next page, page 27. Page 27 is an exercise for couples. It must be done in a class setting. Unfortunately, we are, not offline. We are online. So let's move on to page 28, 2-8. Page 28 and 2-4. Regular verb pronunciation of ed endings. Pronunciation is important because if we don't have exact correct pronunciation, it's really hard for us to deliver, communicate with people, right? So we have to be aware, well aware of pronunciation, correct pronunciation. Look at the parenthesized A, talked, not talked, right? Stopped, hissed, watched, washed. So ed pronounced as t, right? Final ed is pronounced after voiceless sounds. Voiceless, talked. Voiceless sounds, examples of voiceless sound, k, p, s, k, sh, right? And look at the parenthesized B, cold, rained, lived, rubbed, stayed. Final ed is pronounced d after voice sounds. Example of voice sound, l, n, v, b, and o vowel sounds. Vowel sounds means a, e, o, u. The last one is parenthesized C, waited, needed. Ed is pronounced id. Okay, so this is the third category. Let's do exercise 5, pronunciation of ed endings. Question 1, cooked. You can write down, spell T when it is pronounced as T, and D, it, ud. Okay. Question 4, asked, T, started, it, dropped, T, pulled, D, pushed, it, added, id, patched, t, returned, D, touched, T, waved, D, pointed, id, agreed, id. Yes, pronunciation of ed endings. An exercise is answered, arrived, continued, ended, explained. You should, I think, pronounce the words by yourself. It makes you practice the pronunciation. Finished, fixed, helped, looked, planned, worked, invited, suggested, smelled, closed. Okay, let's move on to 2-5. 2-5, spelling of ing and ed forms. There are regular principles in applying spellings. Yeah, it is summarized in your table, page 29. And the verb, if the verb ends with spell E and double the consonant, consonant is the older sounds except the consonant vowel, except vowel. All the sounds are consonant. Vowel is R, A, E, O, U. Smile, when you find out the spelling of smiling, you have to eliminate E. Smiling, S-M-I-L, just I-N-G. Smiled, you just put only D because it ends with E. Just add D. Second category, two consonants. Help, L, P. L is one consonant, P is another one, so two consonant. Helping, help to, ing, ed. It's very regular. In the third category, two vowels plus one consonant. Rain, R-E, rain. A is one vowel, E is second vowel, N is consonant. So rain, raining, rained. It's very regular, okay? The fourth category, one vowel plus one consonant. Stop. Oh. There's one vowel, up, stop, and one consonant. In this case, if the verb has one syllable and ends with one vowel, one consonant, double the consonant, make the ing and ed form. Double the consonant, stopping, stopped, planning, planned, okay? And two syllable, made of two sounds, two syllable verb, visit, visit. It's very regular, visiting, visited, just ing, just ed. In this case, prefer. If the second syllable, prefer, two syllable verb is stressed, prefer, intonation is in the second syllable, prefer, and it ends with a consonant and double the consonant, preferred. Preferring. So double the consonant cases, preferring, stopping. You have to memorize this category. And if the verb ends with Y, play, playing, played, it's very regular. And in case of H, if the verb ends with a consonant, Y, and keep the Y for the ing, worrying, you don't have to change the spell Y into anything else. But when the verb ends with IE, ing form, change I to just Y and add ing. Die, die. And die. Okay, so spelling of ing and ed forms. Exercise 7 on page 30. Page 30. Exercise 7. It's a drill page. This page encourages us to practice. Start, studying, studied. Wait, waiting, waited. It's regular, right? Hit, 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 hit. It's irregular. All the root form, ing and ed forms have the same spelling. Hit, hit, hit. Write, wrote, written. Shout, shouted, shouted. Cut, cut, cut. Meet, met, met. Hope, hoped. Hoping, hoped. Hitting, writing, shouting, cutting, meeting, hoping. Hopping, hopped. Double consonant. H-O-P-P-I-N-G, H-O-P-P-E-D, right? Helping, helped, regular. Sleeping, slept. So you have to practice all through the end of the question 20. And if you are not sure the spellings, you can check it out using your answer key, right? Exercise 8 is another practice, so you can review by yourself. And if you're curious or if you're not sure of the answer, you can refer to answer key at the end of our main textbook. Okay, let's move on to 2-6, page 32. The principal parts of a verb. Let's look at the first word, finish. This is root form or principal parts of a verb. Simple form, finish. And if you add ed at the end of the word finish, it can be used as simple past, past participle. What is past participle? You can use past participle when you use past perfect tense. It can be used in the past perfect. It will be dealt with in the past perfect tense. Present participle, finishing. Regular verbs, finish, stop, hope, wait, play, try. Irregular verbs. I think you are well aware of the irregular verbs, but we can't check it out using page 33. Page 33. It's really important. It's really important. I strongly recommend you should be very familiar with these reference lists. Awake, awoke, awoken. Lie, lay, laying. And ending with write, wrote, written. Let's check it out, some examples of it. Awake, be. You can use this page like this, using your hand or another piece of paper, you can conceal the portion of simple past and past participle, and then you just see the principal verb, okay? Awake, be, beat, become, and you can pronounce. Not seeing the simple past and past participle forms in the text. Awake, awoke, awoken. Be, was, were, been. Beat, beat, bit, bitten. Like lie, lay, laying. Drive, drove, driven. Give, gave, given. Okay, so if you find any word you are not good at transforming into simple past or past participle, you can check it out. You can highlight it, and then you have to make yourself very familiar with those words. Okay, let's do exercise 10 using on the page 34. Page 34, exercise 10. Direction, complete each sentence with the simple past of any irregular verb that makes sense. There may be more than one possible completion. Okay, question 1. Maria walked to school today. Walked, simple past. Rebecca drove her car. Oh, drove is irregular forms of the verb. Olga rode her bicycle, R-O-D-E. Okay, Yoko took the bus. So for the question 1, Olga rode the bicycle, Yoko took the bus. Question 2. Last night I had a good night's sleep. I slept 9 hours. And blank a beautiful dress to the wedding reception. What is the past form of wear? Correct. Or a beautiful dress to the wedding reception. 4. I got so cold last night that the water in the pond. What is the past form of freeze? Yes, correct. Froze. And question 5. Frank was really thirsty. He drank 4 glasses of water. Past form of drink. Drank. Okay. The questions go on and on like this, so you can complete this and complete answering the questions. If you're not sure of the answer, you can use answer key, right? Exercise 11 is very similar questions. So let's move on to until we reach page 39. (2-8), the simple past and the past progressive. I think we are all well aware of the concept. The simple past, if you look at the cross, simple past, the cross point is, I think, in present. So Mary walked to downtown yesterday. I slept for 8 hours last night. We have to use simple past because there are adverb or adverbial phrase yesterday, last night, which means we have to use simple past. Okay. The past progressive. Past progressive, I sat down at the dinner table. Sat down, simple past. Yesterday, Tom came to my house at 6:10 p.m. I was eating dinner when Tom came. I was eating. The crossing point is present. And it goes on like this. We are trying to describe this point. Something was going on starting from this point. It was going on to the specific point here, and it would be going like this. So we can use past progressive to describe this point. I was eating dinner when Tom came. This point, Tom came. Tom came at this point, and I was asleep. I was eating. The behavior, it starts from here, and it was in progress up to a point when Tom came. So I was eating when Tom came. Simple past, past progressive. This is the concept of past progressive. And forms, let's look at 2-9 forms of the past progressive. Past form of be verb followed by ing. That's the form of the past progressive. Okay. Let's move on to page 40, exercise 16. Page 40, exercise 16. Direction, complete the sentences with the words in parentheses. Use the simple past or past progressive. Okay, let's look at the question number 1. At 6 p.m., Bob sat down at the table, sat down, simple past, and began to eat. At 6:05, Bob was eating dinner, right? Bob was eating. The thing was in progress at that time. While Bob ate dinner and was coming through the door. Okay. Question 2, while Bob ate dinner and was coming. In other words, when Anne came through the door, Bob was eating dinner. Okay. Question 4, Bob went to bed at 10:30. At 11, Bob slept. Okay. 5, while Bob slept, the phone was ringing. Question 6, in other words, when the phone rang, Bob was sleeping. The questions go on like this. Exercise 17 and 18 is very similar questions. So you yourself make yourself more familiar with those questions. Let's move on to the very end of this chapter. Okay, we have another important expression we have to use. Oh, in the middle we have 2-10, page number 34. Not 34, sorry, 48, page 48. You can find 2-10. Okay, expressing past time using time clauses. Time clauses. Clause. Clause means sentence. Clause sentence means clause sentence must have subject and verb. Subject verb are the necessary components when you use clause and sentence. So time clauses. Parenthesize A, after I finish my work, it is time clause. I went to bed, it's main clause. Expressing past time using time clauses. Parenthesize B, I went to bed after I finished my work. Okay, so time clauses means the clauses starting from the conjunction, time conjunction after. When you look at the parenthesize B, before I went to bed, I finished my work. Before is a conjunction followed by clause. Before I went to bed, it is time clause. Okay. Let's move on and on to the last but not the least important phrase. Page 52 2-11. Expressing past habit. Wow, past habit. We have a strong weapon here. If you express your past habit, you can use this expression. I used to live with my parent in the past as a habit. Now I live in my own apartment. Parenthesize B, and used to be afraid of dogs. It was in the past, but now she likes dogs. Parenthesize C, L used to smoke. Oh, but he doesn't anymore. Oh, it was a habit in the past, not now. Okay. D is on question. Did you used to live in Paris? Mhm. E, I didn't used to drink coffee. Okay. Let's do exercise 24, past habit with used to. Direction, correct the errors. Alex used to live in Cairo. Used is called in grammar prepositional phrase. Preposition. The typical examples of prepositions are can, may, might. These are the examples of prepositions. Ah, ah, oh, I'm really sorry. I was talking about wholly different things. Used is auxiliary phrasal verb. So these are auxiliary phrasal verbs. So used to must be followed by or a verb. That is why Alec used to live in Cairo, not living. Used to, the expression used to is not a verb. Auxiliary phrasal, auxiliary phrase. So you have to use a verb. Alex can live in Cairo. Alex must live in Cairo. The same thing should be applied here. Alex used to live in Cairo. Question 2, Jane used to work at an insurance company. You have to use the root form of work because used to is auxiliary phrase verb. Jane used to work. 3, Margot used to teach English, was used to know. Margot was used to riding a bicycle. Be used to, ing is different expression. I'm used to playing golf. Be used to means be accustomed to. You are very familiar with doing something. So you have to Margot, you have to eliminate the verb was. Margot used to teach English. Margot taught English in the past, but now she works at a publishing company. Okay, so used to, the expression used is used to express past habit. And you can drill yourself using exercise 26, 7, all through 28. We have a time limit for this lecture, so I just deal with the general concept and the sample examples of each exercise. So you can review using the textbook all the other questions we didn't deal with, and you can use your answer key. Okay, let's call it a day for today's lecture, and I hope we can meet again next week. Thank you.